Alright, Wally, you're with me here live. So, I found a way to screencast so you can see what I'm doing here. Um, I don't know what just happened. We'll just do it, whatever that was. Okay, so this is the worksheet. It gave us sales data and information. So I took off the grid lines here and I obviously already filled this in. I was going to show you how I did that. So to start off at the base price, he wants us to find out what the price is for each of these homes, right? And so he wants us to use a VLOOKUP function, something that will look like this. Okay, so I'll start this over here. So we're going to do equals VLOOKUP. Okay, so what we're telling this is I want you to look up this name, comma, and then it's asking for the table. Okay, so we're going to say in this table. Notice that I didn't highlight the top. You can, but it doesn't really help you. And so what this is going to say is it's going to look for Mount Everest, which is right here in this table. And so then once it finds it, it says, okay, well, what column do you want to hear about? So I want to know what the base price is, which is column 2. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to ask for column 2, comma, and then if it doesn't work, if it can't find the name or anything, what it says, if I type in true, it'll just kind of try to make something work, which doesn't actually work ever. So you want to type in false because I want it to tell me if there's something wrong, right? So I'm going to press enter here, and so in that value it gave me that. And so I'll delete those so you can just kind of see. So I have this formula that we just typed in. Something that's really important is this right here is our table, and so we need to anchor those. So if you highlight them, press F4 so it anchors them, it'll make it so it stays, because when I drag and drop it, it'll fill in those numbers for us. And so down here I already have it, but we'll drag it down anyways. Okay, and so next is the discounts. And so pretty similar process, except he added one more step. So I just deleted those. So we're going to do equals VLOOKUP, because each of these house plans here has a different discount on it. So I want to find each one that says Mount Everest, and then press comma, and it asks me for what table. I'm saying it's in this table, right? And so then we can go ahead and anchor those just like we did before, because we're going to drag and drop it. Okay, and then it's asking us what column do we want, and I'm saying it's column 3, because that's where the discounts were. At least I think that's where it was. And once again, false. If it doesn't have Mount Everest, I want it to tell me, right? So I'll close that and press enter. And so what that is that this is a percentage, really, because Mount Everest is here, the discount is 1%. If we look over here, Mount Everest is here, the discount is 1%, okay? But that's the discount rate, not how much it is. It wants the dollars here. So then all that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply that, open parentheses, by the sum of the base price plus the options, because that's the total price of the home, times our discounts. Press enter, and that gives me a percentage, but I'll put that into dollars, and that's how much of a discount we get. And so since we had anchored that, we can just drag it down so it fills in all these. And once again, I have the bottom already filled out, so that'll go right there. The net price is pretty simple. Base price plus options minus the discounts, because you don't have to pay those, and that's what our net price is. Cost of sales is given. The gross margin right here is the cost of sales, or the net price minus the cost of sales. And then gross margin is percentage of the margin right here over the net price. And so then what he suggests is you copy this for the next few steps. So on my summary sheet, I have this already all filled out the way that I wanted to, how I decided to format it. I'll zoom out a sec there so you can see a little bit better. But yeah, so this is pretty much how I did it. So what it's going to show is the homes per month, homes by community, homes by the different plans that you see here. And then he will ask you for two things. He wants to see how many of each home was built. So of the Cheyenne Mountain home plan, we built 4. Of the Mount Everest home plan, we built 3. And he wants you to do this using a count formula. But for these, we'll stick with this real quick. It's pretty simple. You'll do the same process for homes by month, homes by community, and homes by plan. So what you do is we have our information here. And so what we want to see is it by month. And so it's already organized by month. So pretty simply, all I did was net sales. Make sure you keep aligned with the month here. January goes to here. And I'm going to find the sum of that for this. And that gets me that number. Gross margin. We find the sum of gross margin for January. And then the gross margin, we don't add that here. I'm sure you already know that. But you just take the gross margin from here over the net sales. And then you can just do the same thing for February and March. Just make sure that you get only February's and only March's, for each of those. So then what we suggested is that you copy it and then you paste values. And so just to make sure that you're ready, so like we copy that, and so I'll delete it so you can actually see what goes on. So we copy the original, right? Copy it, and then we're going to paste values. And so what that does is it makes it so that these formulas come out as just numbers, right? And so it looks all nice now. And so then what you do is you're going to go to data, turn on your filters, because they're really handy to have. Because what you can do is the next thing is you're going to find it by community, right? And so say these were organized like this. I want to be able to see everything, all these in order. So I could just go A to Z. And then for my formulas, Idaho Falls, do the same thing as you did before. And just highlight all the Idaho Falls values and add them up. And so that'll get you your dollars and your gross margins. And a lot of times when you copy and paste, sometimes they'll take out formatting. So you see how these aren't in dollar values. You can change that so they look pretty again. It'll do the same thing with percentages sometimes. So you do that here. And so what I had done in my summary sheet, there's really no formulas, because what I had done is I have my homes by month, January, total net sales. I just go equal here, and I have January net sales, click on that, enter. And then I know that my information is right below it, so I can just go straight down. So that's all you'll see there. We'll fix that right here, just like that. But yeah, so all these, if you look at it, it's all just equals values. There's no fancy formulas, because all my calculations I did in the sheet. So you do the same thing for your homes by month, community, and house plan. And then this is where it gets tricky right there. And so we'll scroll down. So I copied each one of these for each of the things for community, by plan, and then we're doing it right here by the home plan. And so what we're doing is he wants to know how many of the Cheyenne Mountain houses did you build. So if we go over here, what I did was I used a if function here. And so I said essentially this. If, here I'll just retype in the formula, equals, if this right here, this house plan equals the Cheyenne Mountain, and you want to anchor that because we're going to drag and drop it, then, so we do comma, if that's true, I want you to give me the number 1. If that's false, I want you to make it blank. And I press enter. And so if these weren't there, we'll delete it. We'll drag and drop. And look, we got all these here. Because what happened was I took my data filter, where I go like this, and I filtered it by the house plan already, so they're in order. And then I did equal sum, simple sum formula. And so if I went over here and I wanted to find out how many houses were built for these, I'd be like, well, Cheyenne Mountain, how many were built? And I went over here. My sum for Cheyenne Mountain is located there. 4. Mount Everest, how many were built there? Mount Everest, we have 3. Click on it, enter, and that gives us that. And I don't know if you know, so right here, pretty simple. We'll just highlight these because he wants a pie graph for each of these. So we'll just go insert pie graph, and give me a pie graph, and then format it as you please. And so that's pretty much the project here. I hope that all made sense and helps you figure this out a little bit better. And I wish you the best of luck, man.